Hi students, in the second video for online lecture 20, we are now going to describe Hess's law as our second way of calculating our delta H of a reaction. So what do we mean by Hess's law? This is when the reactants are converted to products. The change in enthalpy is the same whether the reaction takes one step or a series of steps. So the nice way of explaining this is that in the last video, I showed you how to calculate your delta H for a reaction using the thermodynamic data that you would get from a textbook. But now what we can do is that we can take a series of reactions and build chemical reactions using the products of one reaction to becoming the reactants of the next, and so on and so forth. So what can we do here? Well, the nice part about this is that enthalpy is a state function. It doesn't matter how we get there, just where you start and end. So this means that we can either do it in one step, 4 steps, or some combination in there. So what we can do here is look at our reaction that we have here and see how that we can manipulate this. If you are given multiple steps in a reaction and you know those delta H's listed off the side, you can use those to get the delta H's of the reactions you want to know. So as you can see here, we have A plus B going to C, and that's some energy. For our second reaction, notice that we would have D going to C. But using our rules of our delta H's, we are able to flip this reaction. So what we can say in this case is that we actually want to go and have 2 C's going and forming our D. Well, if that is the case, we are now going to need 2 C's. So how do we do that? Well, that's easily done by multiplying our top reaction here by 2. So this would give us 2A plus 2B going and forming our 2C. So whatever we do to the reaction, we must do to the energy as well. So as you see here, I would go and need to multiply my delta H that you see here by 2, giving us an energy of 2x. So now the 2C that I form in reaction 1 are being used up in reaction 2. So this has now become an intermediate. So seeing that we flipped reaction 2, we need to make our energy, symbolized by the letter Y, a negative. So now what can I do after this? We are going to go and look at reaction 3. I have formed D. I now have E, and it will go to my product F. So the D that I form in my second reaction is going to cancel out the reactant in reaction 3. So as you can see from here, I have left over my 2A that shows up in the first reaction and my completed reaction, my 2B that is in my first reaction and completed reaction, and my E that I needed from the third reaction is here, and I get my product F. So now what we are able to do is go and sum all of our delta H's from before. So our delta H for the overall reaction would actually be 2x minus y plus z, and we would get our value. So what does this mean in a reaction diagram sort of way? Well, as you see here with our energy level diagrams, that this can be done in a series of steps. So as you see here, I can take my carbon graphite plus 1/2 O2 and get carbon monoxide. You will see that here as step 1 with the shorter arrow. Step 2 is then taking that carbon monoxide, reacting it with the other mole of oxygen and getting CO2. So in this case, you can see that that reaction is here as reaction 2 with a slightly longer arrow. But it's more importantly to see that if we were to add those two energies together, we would get the combined reaction that we want as our target reaction, and you would see that here as our combined with arrow 3. So it's really important for us to work through these reactions and be able to see how the energies are going to be calculated. It's a nice rule of thumb that if you have no other reactions, it is best to go and use your thermodynamic data that we showed you in the previous video. However, if you can use known reactions to produce a target reaction like you're seeing here with Hess's law, this is actually a much faster way to handle this type of math. So let's try this example. We are going to calculate the standard enthalpy of formation for acetylene, C2H2, from its constituent elements. As you can see here, I have 3 reactions that I'm going to use in order to pull this off. So the first thing you will notice is that in A, I have only 1 graphite, but I need 2 in my top reaction. So what I'm going to do is multiply this reaction times 2. So this means that I must also multiply the energy times 2. So this would give me 2 carbons, this would give me 2 O2s, and this would also give me 2 CO2s. So now let's go ahead and look at the second reaction. You will notice from my second reaction, I need hydrogen. Well, that is staying as is in my target reaction. We do not want to do anything with our second reaction, so we will leave it as is. Let's take a look at our third and final constituent reaction. Notice that my C2H2 is on the wrong side. I need it to be a product. The other thing you will notice is that in my constituent C reaction, I have 2 of my acetylenes, but I only need 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this reaction and divide it by 2. So what I will get for this reaction is H2O plus 2 CO2s going to my C2H2. And if I divide my 5 O2s by 2, you will get 5 over 2 O2s. Remember that 5 over 2 is really 2.5. So if I do that, I need to go and flip the sign of my reaction. So that is going to take this negative and turn it into a positive. And then I also need to go and divide it by 2. If I do that, I would get a value of 1,299.4 kilojoules per mole. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the species that we need to cancel. As you look at this problem, it looks very cumbersome. So the best thing you can do is if you have gone and altered a chemical equation, it is best for you to cross it out. So that way you are not going and utilizing the same reaction multiple times. So I will do that for B and C. So now you can see that I have 2 carbon dioxides in the product side of reaction A, and now I have 2 carbon dioxides in my reactants of reaction C. This is an intermediate, and we would cancel it out. We can also do the same for that when it comes to my water. So my water in reaction C will cancel out with the water produced in reaction B. So as you can see right now, I have carbon, which is in my target equation. I have my hydrogen, which is in my target equation. And finally, I have my C2H2. But we still have oxygen left over. So we need to find a way on how to get rid of it. Well, notice that I have 2 oxygens in the reactant side, and I have 1/2. So on the reactant side, I have 2.5 oxygens. This is going to cancel out my 2.5 oxygens here on the product side. So I am now able to cancel out those species. So once again, if they are on the same side, you will add them together. If they are on opposite sides, you are going to subtract them. So now you will see that I have my carbon, my hydrogen, and my acetylene target. So now I am able to go and sum up my heats of reaction. So if I take my 2 times negative 393.5, then I also add my negative 285.5 kilojoules, and then finally add in my 1299.4, you should get a value for this reaction of 226.6 kilojoules per mole of this reaction. This shows that my target reaction is going to be endothermic. For our last example, we are now going to look at a fall 2018 exam question. Given the following thermochemical equations and their corresponding enthalpies, please write the enthalpy change for the following reaction. So you will notice that I have 3 reactions that I would like to use to go and build the bottom reaction. So as you can see on the top, my ammonia needs to be sent to the other side. I also need to go and divide it by 2. So how do I do that? Well, I can state that I'm going to have NH3 going to 1/2 N2 plus 3/2 H2. So what does that mean to the energy? That means that I need to flip it, make it positive, and divide it by 2. This will give me a value of approximately 46 kilojoules. So that now gives us the ability for our reaction 1. Let me go and cross out our original reaction and energy value. So let's go ahead and look at my second reaction. You will notice once again that my methane is on the wrong side, but it has the right number of them. So the only thing that we are going to do is go and flip this reaction. So I will get my CH4 going to 2 hydrogens and my carbon. If I flip this, this means that I must change the energy to positive, and you will now see that I have a good balanced thermochemical equation. Let's take a look at my final reaction. You will see here that the only thing I really need to do is go and divide it by 2 because I have the wrong coefficient. So I can have my carbon plus 1/2 H2 plus 1/2 N2 going to form my HCN. So if I have divided by 2, that means that my energy must be divided by 2 as well, and that should give me a delta H of 135.15 kilojoules. So now let's go and take a look and see if we have gone and gotten the intermediates that we need. Well, my carbon and carbon are going to cancel. That's very nice for us to have. Our nitrogen from reaction 3 and the reaction 1 are going to cancel as well. But now you'll see that my hydrogen is a little bit more complex. I have a total of 1.5 hydrogens in the top one and 2 here, but I have 1/2 over on the reactant side. My 1/2 H2 can cancel with 1/2 of my H2 in this side, and instead of having 3/2, I will just now have 1. Well, now 1 hydrogen from reaction 1 and 2 hydrogens from reaction 2 will give me the 3 hydrogens that I look for in my product reaction. So this means that I now have canceled all of my intermediates and I have my target reaction. So all I need to do is go and add the energies that you see here for the delta H's. So if I add 46 kilojoules to 74.9 and my 135.15, you should get a delta H of 256 kilojoules per reaction. As you can see with our answer choices, that is going to give us answer C. In this video, we showed you an alternative to using the book data and using our standard heats of formation and using reactions that we know, manipulating those reactions using the rules of thermochemical equations, and using Hess's law to provide us with our thermodynamic delta H values. This can become a very important use for you over this chapter. Have a great day.